Good morning, this is Jim, 5714 Collector, bringing you another video on Easter Sunday. I want to take a quick minute and wish everybody a happy and safe Easter. Hope you guys all have a great day. I'm bringing you another video with the 1972 Topps baseball set. We're going to do cards number 131 through number 145 this morning. I hope you guys all enjoy this. We're going to start off with number 131, Jim Nettles. Jim Nettles is the younger brother of Greg Nettles. So pretty nice looking card here. I love that blue. Just a nice, beautiful shot with the bat in his hand. Here's the back. And Jim Nettles had 6 Major League seasons. And he played in 240 Major League Baseball games and hit 16 career home runs. So pretty cool. Very nice looking card. Next card is Hall of Famer Joe Morgan here with the Astros. Another really sharp card. Great player. Hall of Famer, of course. You know, had power, speed, great fielding. This guy could do it all. On base percentage, you name it, he did it. Great announcer with John Miller after he retired. Remember listening to those guys or watching them on ESPN. And we'll talk about Joe a little bit again. I just want to show that front. That's a beautiful card. So Mr. Morgan, let's see. Let's start with the fact that he signed with the Houston Colt 45s for $500 a month and a $3,000 signing bonus. He had the game-winning hit in Game 7 of the 1975 World Series against the Red Sox. He was everybody knows, 2-time MVP, 5-time Gold Glover, 10-time All-Star. He led the National League in WAR 4 times and on base percentage 4 times. So not only did he have power, but he had a keen batting eye and a unique batting stance. Great player. So that's Mr. Joe Morgan. Card number 133 is Joe Keough here with the Royals. Show the back of that. We'll talk about Joe a little bit. Got my index cards. Again, I want to thank Baseball Reference. I go on there and check their different things on their website. I bring up the player. I check their Major League stats, see if they did anything in the World Series or the playoffs, stuff like that. So Joe played 6 seasons. He had his best year in 1970. He hit 322 and 183 at-bats. He hit a home run in his first Major League at-bat on August 7th, 1968 while with Oakland. And let's see, he had the first game-winning hit for the expansion Kansas City Royals. So that's pretty cool. Neat stat. Next player is Carl Morton here with the Expos. He was National League Rookie of the Year. And I didn't write down the year. So I'm gonna say I think it's 1971. He won 18 games while pitching with Montreal. He had an 87 and 92 record lifetime. And he won his first Major League game on April 26, 1970 against San Francisco. So he had a nice career. Carl Morton. Very cool stuff this morning. Next player is the great Vada Pinson. Some people believe he should be in the Hall of Fame, and he's just one of those guys that's so close. If he was elected, it wouldn't be any problem. I don't see why he's not in. He had a great career, had some great seasons. Playing with Cincinnati, played in the same outfield with Frank Robinson, played center field for the Reds. Here he's with the Angels. We'll show that again. And let's talk about him. He was a 4-time All-Star. He won a Gold Glove. Finished 3rd in the MVP voting in the National League in 1961. He led the National League in hits, doubles, and triples twice. And he hit his first Major League home run was a grand slam. So pretty cool trivia question if you want to ask your friends or baseball experts. Card number 136 is Darrell Chaney here with the Reds. And that's a pretty sharp looking card too. Like I said, I love these 72s. This is just a fun series to do. I find all kinds of cool trivia on the site and all that on Baseball Reference. You get to look up some of these players that some people have never heard of. And it's pretty cool. Darrell Chaney, and that is card number 136. He played 11 Major League seasons. He had 14 home runs and 2,113 at-bats. hit his first Major League home run off Hall of Famer Juan Marichal. So that's pretty cool. And he played in the 1975 World Series with the Cincinnati Reds, the year they won the World Series against the Red Sox. So pretty cool. Teammate of Joe Morgan. So that's pretty awesome stuff this morning. Next, we have Hall of Fame manager Dick Williams here with Oakland. That's pretty cool. Of course, he won 2 World Series with Oakland in 1972 and 1973. And I believe he resigned after the 74 World Series, if I remember correctly. There was a lot of controversy in that World Series with Mike Andrews and all that. He made a couple key errors in the World Series, and Charlie Finley was trying to get him off the team so they could bring somebody else on, and the commissioner said, no, we're not going to do that. But if you get a chance, take a look at Dick Williams on the Baseball Reference. And there's the back. Of course, he was a Major League ball player. He played 13 seasons in the major leagues. He hit 70 career home runs and had 768 base hits. He won 4 pennants, including with the Red Sox in 1967. So there you go. And again, like I said, the World Series in 1972 and 1973. So if I said that wrong the first time, it was 72 and 73. Card number 138, Mike Kekich here with the Yankees. He had a little controversy himself. Him and Fritz Peterson traded families, wives, families, the whole 9 yards. Read about it on baseballreference.com. Take a look at that. I remember reading about that in the paper, and I thought, well, that's kind of weird. I've never heard of such a thing. They did it. The back of Mike Kekich's card, and we'll talk about him a little bit here in a second. He played 9 seasons, 39 and 51 lifetime. He pitched 1 shutout in his career. 1 shutout. So there you go. Next player, everybody knows this guy, Tim McCarver, number 139. And he had a very good career. Of course, he's famous for being an announcer, too. He did the World Series. You know, so he was all over the place. He was the personal catcher for Steve Carlton forever. They played together in St. Louis, then in Philadelphia. Show the back. He led the National League in triples once. So that's pretty cool. He's one of the few catchers ever to do that. I think he was the second catcher ever to lead the league in triples. So that's pretty awesome. Nice looking card, too. Here with the Phillies. And we'll talk about Tim a little bit. Let's see. He signed with the Cardinals in 1959 for $75,000. A lot of money back in that day. You know, like I said, he led the National League in triples in 1966. He hit the game-winning 3-run home run in Game 5 of the 64 World Series against the New York Yankees. So, pretty awesome. In 2012, he was honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame with the Ford Frick Award. So he's in the announcer's wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame. So that's pretty cool. So if you collect Hall of Famers, let's talk about that for a minute. If you collect Hall of Famers, do you count the ones that are in the announcing side? Because I'm pretty sure Tony Kubek's in that also. Do you complete your Hall of Fame run with guys that are on the announcer side? So that's a good question. I'd be curious to hear from some other YouTubers who do Hall of Fame runs, how they do that with the guys that make it as on the announcing side. So, all right, card number 140, Pat Dobson here with the Orioles. So he's one of the Orioles' 420 game winners from 1971, along with Jim Palmer, Mike Cuellar, and Dave McNally. So the Orioles are the second team in baseball history, and probably the last, that had 420 game winners. And that's Pat Dobson. Here's the back. So that's pretty cool. Now, at 17, he received a $25,000 sign-in bonus from the Tigers. Pretty awesome stuff. In 1967, he won his first Major League game on September 9th against the White Sox. And we all know about the 20-game seasons and all that. And also in 1971, he won 12 starts in a row with the Orioles. And so, yeah, just some cool trivia. You guys ever get a chance, take a look at Pat Dobson. So pretty awesome. He won 19 games with the Yankees in like 75 also, 74, 75. So take a look at his stats when you get some time. See some cool stuff there. So card number 141. Here's the Met rookies. John Matlack. So everybody sees it. So interesting thing about some of these guys, this is pretty cool stuff. I love trivia. So, all right, Buzz Capper. He played 7 seasons with Atlanta and the Mets. He was 31 and 37 in lifetime. He led the National League with a 2.28 ERA in 1974 and was 16 and 8. Pretty awesome. Made the All-Star team too. Leroy Stanton. Let me bring that back up. Excuse me. So Leroy Stanton here in the middle. He was involved with the Nolan Ryan trade. So he was traded to the Angels along with Nolan Ryan, okay, Don Rose, and Francisco Estrada for Jim Fregosi. There you go. He hit 27 home runs with Seattle in the late 70s also. So he had a nice career and all that. So very good career. John Matlack, National League Rookie of the Year in 1972. He was 15 and 10. He won 125 games lifetime. And he's a 3-time All-Star. So nice career for him. So Chris from Missouri, here's the guy, one of the guys you're not going to like. Chris Chambliss, Rookie of the Year, 1971. He's famous for hitting the game-winning home run in Game 5 of the American League Championship Series off Mark Littell. That won the pennant for the Yankees in 1975. I'm sorry, that's 1976, because Red Sox won in 75. But Chris Chambliss, when he was with the Yankees in 76, hit the game-winning home run, the walk-off. So that is pretty cool. I know a lot of people don't like Chris Chambliss in Kansas City, that's for sure. So he had 2,109 career hits. So Chris Chambliss had a great career. Very good ball player. Card number 143. I'm not going to be able to say this gentleman's last name. Gary, I don't know, just that. Something like that. I'm not really sure, so I apologize for messing that up. Show the back. So that's pretty cool. Talk about him a little bit. He played 3 Major League seasons. In 1972 with the Padres, he hit 6 home runs and had 22 RBIs and 256 at-bats. So not a bad season. Here we got Marty Patton, here with the Red Sox. He played with the 69 Pilots, which is pretty cool. And I already know, because I wrote it down, he was the game opening day starter for the Seattle Pilots. So he's also the only one, since they only played 1 year in 1969 in Seattle. So, show the back here. And I wrote that down. So, I remembered that. Card number 144. So, like I said, opening day starter. He hit 2 Major League home runs in his career in 1972 while playing for the Red Sox. Both were against the Brewers. Both were against Bill Parsons. And they were 3 months apart. He went 114 and 109 lifetime with 25 saves. And if you want to read a little bit about Marty Patton, take a look at Jim Bouton's Ball 4 book. He's mentioned in that quite a bit because they were teammates that year. So just something cool trivia there. So here we go. This is the last card for this week. Number 145, Don Kessinger with the Cubbies. He was the starting shortstop for the Cubs from 1965 to 1975. So, put that back up there like that so everybody can see it. Let's talk about Don Kessinger a little bit. 6-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, played 16 Major League Baseball seasons. Like I mentioned about the Cubs and starting with them, he had 1,931 base hits. He also had a couple, I don't know, I think he had his son and grandson have played Major League Baseball too, so that's pretty cool. He was an excellent basketball player, I'm sorry. This is pretty cool. So in the 1960s, he was named to the SEC Decade of the 60s first team in basketball, along with Pete Maravich, Dan Issel, Louis Damier, and Neil Walk, I'm sorry. So that's pretty cool. All SEC 60s team. That's pretty awesome. So, Don Kessinger had a great career himself. So that's it for this week. That's the 15 cards. So that's pretty cool. We'll kind of do them like that. They'll go back in my box and my binders. And we'll do another series next week. Probably do another 15, maybe 20. This takes 15 minutes to go through 15 cards. Hopefully drop another video later this week, but certainly next Sunday we'll do another rendition of the 72 Top set. I hope everybody's enjoying this series. Getting a lot of positive comments. Everybody seems to be. So I really appreciate that. I hope everybody out there has a happy and safe Easter. Please take care. And we'll talk to you again later this week. Bye-bye.